Tiger. Okay? You have the delusion, the non-wherewithal, the irony of you saying I'm part of the biggest bailout in NBA history. Draymond, you are the luckiest basketball player I think I've ever seen, especially in modern day history. Let's talk about that. You were drafted.
Hey, and you know who's next? Who might be bigger in a few years? It might be whoever. It might be Dylan Harper. It might be any of those guys on the Spurs playing with Wemby. It might be one of them. It might be one of them. When Wemby, it might start this year in the playoffs. Wemby might carry these niggas for 11 years straight. Genuinely. Draymond Green goes off on Austin Rivers saying Doc bailed him out. Video by Chaz NBA. The GOAT, the legend, Chaz NBA. If y'all not tapped in with Chaz, every single day he's showing up to his job. He putting out that content, that work. This one's a little bit different though. I say ban the NBA podcast. Ban the NBA podcast. Why do we have them? People get on the podcast thing because they was in the league. They could just say anything to change the narrative. Playoff P, podcast P, always getting swept off his feet. Mr. Injury. Nah. Without further ado, we finna get straight into the video. I'm gonna give y'all my take. You know, I'm a basketball corny asada. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
She been comment me.
Green and Austin Rivers, a random NBA beef, but it all started with Draymond on his show recently talking about Steve Kerr, and then he commented saying that he might have hindered his offense, which had Austin Rivers bewildered. And now Draymond on his show responded to Austin Rivers saying that he was bewildered by those comments and went off on Rivers.
You know, I don't like to get in these back and forths because, quite honestly, you know, the guys that you usually get into the back and forths with, they become back and forths because there's like a weight that's like one of them like severely tips something this way and the other is just like kind of so far down that
He not even saying shit right now, but I woke up, this was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me get to it. Let me see what it's talking about. What did Draymond say? Because we all know how Draymond gets. Draymond thinks he's like better than what he is. Not saying that he's not good. Draymond's amazing. But I don't know what he said about Austin Rivers, because if you know, Austin Rivers is, he up there with John Wall for the high school mixtape. He's up there with, like, who's out there? Seventh Woods, like this mixtape shit, like this high school shit, is college shit. He's up there, greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? NBA poop, but
it kind of pulls you back a little bit. And so, you know, speaking of Austin Rivers, you know, I saw he said he's bewildered and it's ridiculous of what I said. And I just find it interesting that a guy who was the 10th pick in my draft, I was 35.
So basically, if you're missing out, basically, Draymond says he says like if Steve Kerr wasn't his coach, his potential would have been way higher, or Steve Kerr kind of limited him, like, yo, we don't need you to do this because we got Steph. We don't need you to do this because, like, this is what you're going to do. And we're being real. Look, Draymond, you nice. You not that. I'm going to just be real. You not that. You're not that. If you hoop, you know. If you watching, you may not know. But if you hoop, you know. Draymond, hell of a basketball player. 5v5, hell of a basketball mind. You're okay. You know, I'm not saying you the smartest person ever. You make smarter reads than the average NBA player, right? But you're not all that. You're not all. We've seen the jump shot. From that alone, you're not in the gym.
Who's on his second act, still on act one, would say such things. You know, he goes, Draymond, it's never been a scorer. Well, Austin, you and I averaged the same amount of points in high school when you were a scorer. I don't know what would qualify Austin Rivers to speak about.
Yeah, it might have looked different, though. It might have looked different. You know what I'm saying? Like, Braun was doing hella these. You know what I'm saying? Hella these. Hey, hey. You know what I'm saying? Jordan was doing hella these. You know what I'm saying? It looks different.
When in high school, me and you averaged the same amount of points. And I say high school because that's when you were at your best. That's when Austin Rivers was Austin Rivers in high school. And so that's why I point out the high school scoring, because
But he was on shit teams. In the league, it doesn't matter what team you go. You can't go to a trash team as a, you know what I'm saying, and really turn it up. You have to be a different type of player. Draymond couldn't go to a different team. Bro had Kevin Durant on his team.
you know, I want to make it fair. I want to speak about him when he was at his best. And he was at his best at Winter Park, if I remember correctly. He had ESPN games. Like, that's when he was at his best. When he was faster than everybody and can just put his head down and drive right and get to the rim. And then in college, you know, he was still good. He was very featured at Duke and, you know, had a very big moment, you know, where he hit the three on the wing. Like, you know, you got to give him credit. That's when he was at his best, you know. Well, in college, I averaged almost 17 points a game in the Big Ten. Very limited possessions, you know. So I only want to speak about.
Don't get it twisted. Draymond was good in college too. He was good in college, but he was one of those. Oh, you're good. We low-key finna low-key like, oh, you're good. We see the potential in what you could be, but it was never towards the scoring end. Yeah, we know it wasn't towards the scoring end. It was like, you are really, really good ass undersized big with features specific tailored for you. So someone who wants to draft you wanted exactly you because they can mold you. They're not getting a scorer and saying, yeah, come to Golden State. You know what I'm saying? They wanted Draymond. You know what I'm saying?
At
for
his
what
best.
he was doing. So he was good.
Because NBA careers, should he really talk about my NBA career? I don't know that that's the case. I'm still with my first team. He was gone from his first team in 2 years. And so I just like, sometimes you just should like not say something. You know, like always isn't a time to, everything isn't something you should speak on. And I don't think that was really one for Austin Rivers to be bewildered about and like say it's ridiculous, because like the guy received the biggest bailout in U.S. history prior to President Trump bailing out the airlines when they needed it. Austin Rivers received the biggest bailout in NBA history, in world history, in U.S. history. Received the biggest bailout in U.S. history when his dad gave him $42 million. And I tip my hat to Doc. I pray that one day, you know, I mean, it won't be $42 million then because NBA has gone up so much. But I pray that I can give DJ $200 million or give Deuce $250 million.
I mean, if you manage your money right, you could. If you manage your money right, you could. I mean, you got the money. You just say you still on the same team, you this and that. You should have had the money to give your sons.
Pray that I can do that one day. So I tip my hat to Doc and his incredible bailout of his son and putting good money in his pocket, man. Like I really tip my cap to him. But, you know, if you listen to the whole thing, the whole 3 minutes of what I spoke about, what a competent basketball mind would have heard was, man, this guy who wanted to do this, who thought he was this, changed his game and then still became this because that's what worked best for the team. Never shared those gripes because they didn't matter. And by the way.
Okay. Because we got YouTube right here. I ain't gonna lie. We gonna see right now. Cause look at this nigga. What the fuck?
It is a short bus trip westward on I-69 from Saginaw here.
Shut up. Draymond, where the highlights at? You change your game? Let's see.
That's the reason that they've been successful so far this season. They've got 4 new players in there right now as Josh Southern goes inside and an easy kiss off the window for Draymond Green.
Draymond, you was never like that. Off that one play alone, I know you didn't have to change your game.
We've heard from the first-team All-Stater from Saginaw. West doing a nice job of weaving
so he's number 50
into position. They'll go inside and kick it back outside. Tristan Calhoun inside. Green with the lane.
He's still aggressive too. He didn't have to change his game for shit. You're. I mean, in high school it makes more sense. You're a big man. You're at 6'4", 6'5". You're a center. You know what I'm saying? But to sit here and say you changed your game for the NBA.
5 seconds to time on that trip down the floor. Pretty good ball move.
One more bucket. Let's do one more bucket.
For the Trojans.
Here you can see the ball pressure being applied and realizing that he was done.
West with a nice hesitation. Another look for Lewis. Short Green is there to knock up.
He doing alley-oop putbacks for air balls. Okay, let's do one more thing. For y'all that don't know. Oh, ads.
Overthink less, chew good, or become.
The Devil Wears Prada 2 has arrived, and it's certified fresh off the runway.
My neck is hot. Oh my God, just hot.
He doing that for his highlights, some catch. No, he didn't have to change his game. That was just the point I was trying to say. Ain't nothing wrong with him for saying. I mean, he was maybe more of a scorer, a score first, but he was never just a scorer. You know what I'm saying? You never had to change your game necessarily inherently just to make the team better. You didn't have to do that. Because that was already you. Your game was never that. That's why I just don't like that.
Still don't matter. Because guess what? I don't care. I'm totally fine. My career's been great. So I found it interesting for people who need things to speak on to make it out as if I'm sitting here complaining about my career has been so bad. No, my career has been great. Possibly Hall of Fame worthy. And I love how people just go take the 15 seconds that they want to take and make it a headline. But I really enjoyed watching Austin Rivers be bewildered by a statement of a guy who was drafted after him, still doing it after he's done, long after he's done, at a higher level right now today than he ever did it. Right now today, more impactful, bar none. Now, had Austin Rivers taken a page out of my book and said, man, these people really don't need me to score. Let me go do something else. Probably doesn't need the bailout because.
See, that's what's true. But you never were a scorer to begin with. You was never moving like that to begin with. If you became arguably one of the greatest high school players of all time, offensive wise, right? And that's what propelled you higher, you would be less inclined to say, you know what got me here is not what I'm going to use here. Draymond, on the other hand, you had a little something, a little bit. You was bigger. Austin Rivers like, what, 6'1", 6'2"? I don't know. He's like 6'2". Or maybe not, I think he's 6'4". But, so he's not like big, right? But like, that's what got him there. So why would you just turn it off? They're going to be like, you was a scorer. It's like Ben Simmons. You was supposed to be passing. You stopped passing. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Zion, you was dunking on people. Don't do that no more. Why are you here? You were closer to that. You didn't really have too much. So it wasn't hard to let go and give up. That's a good rule though. A lot of players do need to understand to like change it up. It's about longevity rather than, you know what I'm saying, like the selfish mindset of it all.
Then you go defend, you go be the better backup point guard than what he ultimately was. Like you carve out a nice niche for yourself. So what I can teach you about is carving out a niche for yourself since you're bewildered about my comments.
What I do think is that he could have did defense better and been more of a team player. He was genuinely just a scorer, but that's what he was raised to do. But I feel like once you start getting paid to play basketball and you're getting like you're in the NBA, you have all the assets in the world to change your game or to add. Not necessarily stop what he was doing, but he could have added more defense, more playmaking, more, you know what I'm saying? Rather than just coming in mixing, trying to mix people. But I mean, it is what it is.
I could have taught him to carve out a niche, as I did. So what you should go show kids is, man, here's a guy who was the National Player of the Year in college, was a Big Ten Player of the Year, that got to the league actually because he could score in all these different ways. He could shoot three, he could get you off the dribble, he could take you to the block. That's how he got to the league. And shown at times that he could score in the league, but that just wasn't the path. But when you get guys like Austin Rivers, who, again, received the biggest bailout in U.S. history, to say something like that, I was bewildered.
And then Austin Rivers responded on Instagram, tagging Draymond saying, "Relax fam, I never was sour towards you, actually highly complimentary, but here we are. I can't stand by and just let you belittle me and disrespect me and my father for no damn reason. Who you think you are? I think you hang around your big bro. We all know who I am talking about. That's LeBron. And you maybe start to think you, him, you're not, lol. You're just a fan and a friend. Fallback, respectfully, I'm not an NBA Hall of Fame guy, and I don't have your NBA resume, but you need a reality check for real. Like, come on, Dre, really?" And then posted this video.
Come on.
The only thing about Austin is sometimes, like, before direct conversations, the way he does hold himself is a little high. You know, them child athletes, when they're like prodigies, they do have that bit of like arrogance to them, like not being poised, but it's just a little bit of, they're just self-aware. You know, it's like someone who looks good, they're self-aware. You like, oh, you dangerous because you know how attractive you are. You know how people see you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you could low-key, that's kind of how he is.
Draymond, this is ridiculous. Seriously. Ridiculous. But you know what? I'm going to address it because you crossed the line and you were mad disrespectful for whatever reason. You've been around too long. We both were drafted in the same class. The fact that you don't have the wherewithal to do your due diligence and actually understand I was being highly complimentary of you on the Dan Patrick Show. But it's you, and I shouldn't be surprised. You always act irrationally, emotionally immature, and your anger always puts you in hot water. So here I am having to address a video of you belittling my career. First off, Draymond, we weren't the same players in high school. I don't care about our numbers being similar. I did it at the national level, the top level. Hence why I got the Naismith Award, and I got pretty much every award you can think of.
Damn. So basically what he's saying is you was playing G League in high school, I was playing NBA. That's what he said.
In high school. I was ranked number 1, you were ranked, I don't know. So cut it out. Next. College, you actually were a really good college basketball player, but it's hard to compare because I was only there for 6 months. Something you could never do. Talk about I was, one of the featured guys. No, I was the guy. I led my team in scoring. I was first team all ACC.
You see what I'm saying? You getting all these accolades and you have all of this. He has Naismith Player of the Year. He's leading his conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's leading his team in points. Like, you're not going to get to the league off of that and stop doing that. Because then it's, why are you here?
Freshman Player of the Year, lottery pick, stop. Next. The NBA, hey, man, you got it, Dre. I mean, listen, I played in the NBA for more than 10 years, more than a decade, but 11 years, but I'm not a Hall of Famer like you. So I'll give you that credit. All right? You got it. But let's peel back that onion and understand why. Easy, Tiger. Okay? You have the delusion, the non-wherewithal, the irony of you saying I'm part of the biggest bailout in NBA history. Draymond, you are the luckiest basketball player I think I've ever seen, especially in modern day history. Let's talk about that. You were drafted.
Hey, and you know who's next? Who might be bigger in a few years? It might be whoever. It might be Dylan Harper. It might be any of those guys on the Spurs playing with Wemby. It might be one of them. It might be one of them. When Wemby, it might start this year in the playoffs. Wemby might carry these niggas for 11 years straight. Genuinely.
To a franchise with a Hall of Fame front office, Bob Myers, Hall of Fame coach, Steve Kerr, the greatest shooter of all time,
Curry,
and perhaps
Klay
the top
Thompson,
5 player of all time,
KD,
Steph Curry, Hall of Famer.
Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston. Now, you might be saying these are nobodies. These niggas play their role amazingly. Like some of the greatest you will ever see.
One of the greatest shooters, top 5 shooter of all time, another Hall of Famer, Klay Thompson. The Swiss Army knife himself, the guy who could do a little bit of everything on the floor, Andre Iguodala, another Hall of Famer. I know, keep up. It's a lot of talent. Not to mention one of the most lethal scorers of all time and arguably a top 10 player of all time, Kevin Durant, the same guy you chased off because of this, your mouth. You talk too much. And that's not even counting the plethora of talent around those guys. The Sean Livingstons,
and then, yeah, the Sean Livingstons, I would say the Jordan Poole, like
Barbosas, the Andrew Wiggins, the Jordan Pooles, who you also chased off. Cut it out. Draymond, you're the backpack jump shooter. You're the guy that everyone leaves open. No one guards you. There are hours and hours and hours of film of just you being left wide open. In fact, anybody can just YouTube or Google or watch any Draymond game ever, and he's open all game. There are
He calling him sorry as shit, boy. He said he's sorry.
you getting a rebound and just driving in a straight line and just getting a wide open layup because everyone's fanning out to guard the actual talent on the team.
That's true. There was a nigga guarding Curry outside out of bounds in front of their bench. What? Draymond literally gets the ball, does this, and he's like, oh shit, and then he goes, right? And the thing is, I'm not even a fan of Austin Rivers. I feel like he's a little bit too cocky and arrogant. I don't fuck with that. And I feel like he was always overhyped in the NBA. Like, every time he was somewhere, it was, oh, Austin Rivers. I'm like, he's not doing it at this level. You know what I'm saying? He's not the player he once was. And I never even watched, I never even thought he was going to be as good in the NBA. Just pure off of hate. I was just hating. You know what I'm saying? And I found out he was Doc's son, and that's how I really hate him then. Laker fan right here.
Talking about Steve Kerr hindered your career. Bro, Steve Kerr made your career. How dare you?
Yeah,
Coming at me? Are you kidding me? I wish I could give my son $200 million if I was a coach. Yo, the NBA doesn't give coaching jobs to guys who may or may not sucker punch one of the players and staff. You need to fall back, Dre. Let's just be frenemies.
Shit. I'm not gonna lie. There's just something about both of them, right? He has his points. He's making a lot more clear of points, but Draymond could have been taken out of context. But I do honestly think that it's just take away the mics from both of them. Take away the mics. Give me that shit. Like, give me that shit. Both of y'all. Give me the mic. The thing is, when you sit in something for so long, it becomes regular, and then now you're looked at from the outside in as a weird person complaining about your successful anomaly. What I mean by that, you're in the NBA, you've been there for so long that it's regular to you, and now you're seeing different things more minuscule that I could have did this. Oh, I see this player doing whatever, and now you're complaining outwardly towards people. You may say something that people take the wrong way because they're not in your position. Now people are looking at you saying, nigga, you're in the NBA, bro. You're on the Hall of Fame team, and you're saying you're not even, you're taking this for granted, bro. He literally, you know what I'm saying? That's what is always just, that's why I feel like these mics, you have to do it when you're retired. Just do it when you're retired. And even then, it might even be worse when you're retired. These old heads be tripping out here, saying anything. Rudy Gobert just locked up Jokic, and no one gives. I was never a Rudy. I liked Rudy Gobert since he was with Utah. I've been a fan, right? Not like he's my fan, but just like, oh, I fuck with bro. You know what I'm saying? Corky, whatever. Shaq, you couldn't shoot free throws. Why do y'all just love hating so much? Without further ado, I feel like Draymond got cooked, or Draymond just needs to just stop talking. Like, he honestly was the downfall. He had Curry crying. He got thrown out. Curry started crying, bro. You just need to take the mics away. Without further ado, I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This one a little bit different. I love you to death, boy. I'm gonna see you on the next one. I'm calling.